I'm Charlotte Owendyke. I belong to 3 rose societies in the area. The one that I'm most actively involved is Sierra Foothills Rose Society, and we have a web page, and just write that all out with org on the end. Let me explain the tools and what we use in our garden, and then I'll walk you through pruning a rose in approximately 3 minutes or less, depending on how many issues I find. This is a lopper. I like this for canes that are 1 inch or more. It gives me enough oomph. I can get some leverage with this. And the issue is, when you have tools, get a bypass. Now, I'm tossing that on the ground. I have my little tool. This is my hand pruner. It also is a bypass. I usually sharpen all my bypass tools before I prune each day, because I have 350 roses, so I prune a lot. So, you just go along like this to sharpen it up, and that's all you need to do, but it should be a diamond sharpener. Okay, the other thing that a lot of people do, you need gloves. I'm using these gloves because it's the bushes that I'm going to work on is not unwieldy. If it's unwieldy or a climber, I'll use these gauntlet gloves. And these are especially nice. This is goat leather. It stops the prickles. And this is just cowhide, whereas these are just strictly cowhide. So I have to be a little bit more careful. So, and then I'll toss that over here. And the other thing that I like to use is a knee pad. Things can be damp, and I don't want to get my pants all damp and muddy. So this, and it's just, oftentimes when I'll just sit on it too if I'm really busy at work. So this is the rose bush that I'm going to be pruning. It's a hybrid tea rose bush. There are different kinds of roses. Hybrid tea is usually vase-shaped. It usually has a shape. The bloom is like the ones you see in the florist shop. Then you've got grandiflors that is a little bit taller and has lots of times has that hybrid tea bloom shape, but it's bigger and taller. And then you have floribundas that are rounded. They're all can be done the same way, and even the miniatures can be done the same technique. So I'm just going to go get started here, and I will just occasionally make notes as I go, so you can see what I'm looking for, and I'll try to remind you. And this is a trug, so I can just toss some of my things, my clippings in there. Okay, the first thing you need to do when you prune a rose is take a look at the rose. This rose has been cut down till it's about 2 to 3 feet tall, and it's still kind of jumbled in the middle. So what I'm going to do is, when you look at a rose, you remove diseased, dead, and damaged canes, and also canes that go toward the center. So I'm just to open it up more and take a look at more of the structure, I'm going to do that right now. For example, this is a really tiny, this one is a perfect one. I'm going to remove it. It's smaller than 1 inch. It's gone. This is also smaller than 1 inch. It's gone. Here's another one. And when I start removing that, you start seeing the center. I can see this is a diseased, almost dead portion of a cane. So that makes it easy. I know that's going to go. This is a brand new cane. It's bright green versus like this cane is old, it's gray. You can see the difference there. I'm going to walk over here, get rid of some of the smaller little stuff, and these are just to cut it down to get rid of some of the leaves so I can see what's there. That one didn't want to leave my hand. Okay, what we've done is we cleared the field of view of what we're looking at. We always start in looking at the canes from the base. This is the actual bud union, and this is coming off the bud union. It's been buried a little bit by some of the compost over time. But I already see one dead or dying cane here, and that's this, and I'm going to remove that. However, I'm thinking I may want to remove this. This is my oldest cane. It is gray. It's kind of gray here and a problem, so I might just remove it. I know I have a brand new cane here. You can see this is beautiful. It's luscious and green. And then I'll probably remove this because it's right next to the brand new cane. Anyway, and then this is going to be trimmed up too, so we can see what that looks like. I could use loppers, but I think I'm going to use this because it works really good, and I'm just going to trim. I'm doing it real close to the bud union. And you can use a reciprocating sawtooth if it's really thick or you don't have the strength to do it. And there it comes. That makes it really easy. I was concerned that some of the things you look for is you don't want any, when you make cuts, that it has a black center, and I was concerned. That's why I was willing to get rid of that particular cane. Now, I'm going to get rid, for sure, let's just cut it here. And I think I'm gonna, let me toss this in my trug. I think I'm looking for eyes. This is an eye, right where my thumb is. Or I should use this to point. It's where a leaf was, and that's a line. And then right in the center of the line, above that line, this is a line. You can see the scar tissue, it's a line across, and above that line is a little, I would call a little pimple, a little dot. That's where a new cane is going to come out, and that's where growth erupts. So you'll have them all around this, wherever the leaves were, you'll find it. And normally what we like to do is I'll go and look up. I want this to go to the side like this, and so I'm going to cut it a ½ inch above that little pimple, and I just cut it like that, and I'm done. This one is problematic. It's diseased. You can see its growth has come down there, and I am going, and it's kind of crossing where the new one's coming. I'm going to be cutting right here. And let's see what it looks like. And notice I use a lopper because it's a little fatter. And I'm lucky this time. You can see the center is nice and white. If it's diseased, that's going to be brown. Already you can see it's opened up a little bit more. I'm going to take this out because I've got, this looks good. I think what I might do is just trim there. All right, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit more. So I'm going to take this off because this has a lot of, it's too many little pieces and there's some dead wood on it. And I will go out that direction. And I'm going down on here. I think I'm going to get rid of it. It's less than a pencil thickness. I'm going to go right there. And I'm going to get rid of that. All done. This is, you saw the beginning, and now this is the end of this particular rose. We have 4 canes, and we've brought it down to maybe 2.5 feet to 3 feet. That's generally what I go for. And it's open and structured. I'm hoping, I did cut out 1 cane, so I'm hoping for a new cane there. That's it. Well, the other thing that you have to do after you finish is you pick up all the twigs and stuff, because on the leaves there's always potential for fungi, black spot and everything, and you don't want to start off the new spring and having your new leaves infected with that. And then I always fertilize by March 1st with organic fertilizer. We basically, everybody at the Rose Society, we all recommend organic fertilizers. It's much better for your plant. It produces a much plant that's more resistant to disease and such. So it's the way to go in our opinion. So that's it.